I didn't go looking for revenge. But when my neighbor tried to humiliate me in front of the entire neighborhood, I decided she picked the wrong person. My name is Michelle. I'm 38. And until last year, I thought I had a pretty quiet life. I lived in a small suburban street with my dog, a teaching job, and just enough peace to get by. I liked keeping things simple. Smile, wave, small talk. Done. Then Carol moved in next door. Carol was the kind of neighbor you notice whether you want to or not. Loud voice, louder laugh, and a talent for turning every little thing into neighborhood gossip. I tried to be kind at first, brought her flowers, offered to take in her packages, that kind of thing. But it didn't take long before I realized that to her, I wasn't a neighbor. I was entertainment. It started with small digs. At the block barbecue, she smirked. Michelle must have so much free time, she's still single. Everyone laughed. I forced a smile. Then she told people I let my dog pee in her yard, not true. Or that I drank too much wine. Still not true. But the real humiliation came at the annual neighborhood meeting. We were all in the community hall, sitting in folding chairs, eating cake and drinking coffee. The topic of noise complaints came up, and Carol raised her hand. Well, she said loudly, maybe Michelle has something to share. I heard some very enthusiastic company at her house the other night. The room erupted in laughter. My face burned. I wanted to crawl under my chair. It didn't matter that I'd been home alone that night. The damage was done. That night, I lay awake replaying it all. I had two choices. Ignore her and hope she'd get bored. Or give her a taste of her own medicine. I chose the second. Carol loved being the star, but she was sloppy. Always bragging, never careful. I started paying attention. I wrote down every time she left her trash out on the wrong day. Every time she parked her car where she shouldn't. I screenshotted her posts in the neighborhood app, where she took credit for things she hadn't done, like planting flowers I knew another family had put in. And then I struck gold. One night, I heard glass shatter. I looked out the window and there she was. Carol, clearly tipsy, stumbling with a wine glass in her hand. She dropped it, looked around, and I kid you, not tossed the broken pieces into another neighbor's yard. I filmed the whole thing from my window. The spring block party came a few weeks later. Carol was in her element, holding court in her sundress, laughing too loudly, bragging about how perfect her household was. I waited until the timing was right. Then I cleared my throat and said, loud enough for everyone to hear. Funny you say that, Carol, because I've seen a very different side. She blinked. Excuse me? I pulled out my phone, pressed play. The crowd watched as Carol, drunk, tossed broken glass into someone else's lawn. Gasps. Awkward laughs. Someone muttered, wow. Carol turned crimson. That's out of context, she stammered. Oh, and that's not all, I said. I pulled out my little notebook. Here are all the times you left your trash out, parked illegally, and lied on the neighborhood app. People started whispering. Some laughed. Others just shook their heads. For once, the spotlight wasn't flattering. Carol tried to protest, but nobody rushed to back her up. The same people who used to giggle at her jokes were suddenly looking at their drinks. I didn't feel triumphant. I didn't feel cruel. What I felt was silence. Sweet, glorious silence. After that, Carol changed. No more gossip, no more digs, no more humiliations. She barely looked at me at all. And the neighbors? They finally saw me differently. Some even thanked me for finally shutting her down. These days, when I sit in my yard with a glass of wine, I hear birds instead of Carol's laugh. And honestly, that silence is the sweetest revenge of all.